Well, I see Craig's not there. How's he doing?
He's struggling, of course, and his wife is struggling.
As Oak Island goes around and around, important issues come up. Why is Craig Tester not there? What is his recent job? So why did he leave the big hit show? The answers to these questions might give us new and interesting information about Oak Island's secrets. We will look at Craig Tester's life from the beginning of the treasure hunt to the events that caused him to leave. His marriage, problems, and leaving are all secrets at Oak Island. Are we going to learn something new? Are there any lies in Tester's story? On January 6, 2014, the History Channel aired a new, interesting show about a puzzle and people looking for money on Oak Island. Rick and Marty Lagena, brothers from Kingsford, Michigan, are shown on the show as they try to find Oak Island's magical wealth. The show has gained devoted fans and turned into a culture phenomenon over time. Fans can't wait for Oak Island's shocks. A lot of people helped the Lagena boys search. These guys were very important and fought hard for the cause. People named Craig Tester, Jack Begley, Dan Henske, Charles Barkhouse, and Peter Fornetti. Dan and Dave Blankenship were also there. These people drove the curse of Oak Island. Craig Tester was an important part of the program, so his leaving was a surprise and not usual. The treasure hunt on Oak Island was brought back to life by the Lagena brothers, Tester, and Kostova. With their shared knowledge, tools, and desire to find out what's hidden on the island, they would start a new era of finding that would build on what had been done before. Craig Tester is an important part of Oak Island's huge adventures. People on his team, including Rick and Marty Lagena, and other well-known people, use him. His character is important in The Curse of Oak Island, which tells in detail how they searched for the island's secrets and riches. Craig Tester has made a big difference in the search for Oak Island's riches. We know a lot about technology because of him. The most important thing he did was use cutting-edge technology to look into Oak Island's strange basement buildings and features. Tester began as an important team member and later became a co-star and director of The Curse of Oak Island. This shows how important he was to the exploration efforts and how he shaped the story of the show. The story of Tester's rise from crew member to co-star and director adds an interesting twist to Oak Island's growing drama. For a long time, Oak Island has been a hit because of the unstable relationship between Craig Tester and the Lagena brothers. Fans can't wait for each new show. Craig Tester from Glendale, California, used his tech skills, a college link, and his lifelong interest in treasure hunts to make a plan. He put in a lot of work at Delta Upsilon College and got his engineering degree. It was early in college when Marty Lagena met Tester. As they looked for fun, Lagena became a close friend and co-worker. Tester and Marty Lagena were lucky enough to share a college room and talk more deeply. Through several chats, they found that they both liked looking for money. They became lasting friends after high school because they had similar goals and aspirations. The plan for Craig Tester was to become a professional wrestler, but things didn't go as planned. Tester competed in wrestling matches, but he didn't make wrestling his full-time job. Even though he was different, he did well in oil. Because Tester was good with technology, they made money in the oil business with Marty Lagena. They needed to work in the oil business to make a living, and it paid well. The strong couple built an oil company that did well. Even though they were rich from oil, they liked treasure digging together. Tester and Lagena got back together on the exciting stage of The Curse of Oak Island. Craig Tester and Marty Lagena's business journey isn't just about making money on Oak Island. In Michigan, they started a company called Heritage Sustainable Energy that makes wind turbines. Soon, it was making more wind turbines than any other company in the state. Craig's work with Heritage Sustainable Energy shows how good an engineer he is and how much he cares about using environmentally friendly business practices. For Craig Tester, this mysterious Nova Scotia piece is his because he owns a piece of Oak Island. This dual ownership comes with a promise to find out what's going on at Oak Island and a financial investment. Terra Energy is an oil company that Craig and Marty started. The company made more than $3 billion in oil and other resources, which shows that Craig Tester was a smart investor. Craig Tester is now worth more money because Terra Energy owns Oak Island Tours Inc. and Heritage Sustainable Energy. Along with many other things, his role in The Curse of Oak Island makes him richer. Craig Tester's $5 million net worth shows how successful he is in the entertainment business and with money. It looks like Craig Tester made history better, but more people might not know about it. Craig Tester is relied on by the software to tell the team where they can dig safely. This keeps crashes and other problems from happening. Some fans already know. His knowledge is very important for planning the treasure hunt and carefully looking for hidden wealth. But there was an interesting part of the show where Craig Tester lost his temper, which made him talk too much for some viewers. This part of the show was more interesting because it showed how hard it was for the team to deal with Oak Island's unknowns. Surprisingly, some people who watch the show have decent ideas. People think that Oak Island has more than just old things and money. Fans of Shakespeare think that rare First Folio texts could be buried under the island. Oak Island might have literary and cultural treasures that no one expects to find. The prize hunt is now stranger and more interesting because of this. In Season 5,
his wife is struggling, and yes, you can feel his absence here right now. He would normally be sitting right here with me, but
Drake Tester's quick death shows how fragile life is and how epilepsy can happen at any time. Craig was deeply moved by Drake Tester's sad death. It killed the fun character that people had loved for years. Craig put an end to The Curse of Oak Island and went home to be with his wife Rebecca while they were sad. Craig's life changed when he sold his biggest home in Michigan for $3.75 million in 2019. After that, he went to Traverse City, Michigan, which is close to Marty, Lagena. Craig and Rebecca might have needed a new start and a change of scenery to get better and find peace. Craig didn't want to go back to The Curse of Oak Island after Drake's death in the summer of 2017. After losing his loved one, Craig needed to heal, and being away from the program helped. Craig Tester went to Oak Island to calm down after Drake Tester's sad death before leaving the show. Tester Sr. said that living on the island after Drake's death helped him forget how bad things were. In an interview with History in 2018, Craig said, "I think of him every day. It's been a hard year. The mystery draw of the island and the constant search for riches gave Craig a special place to deal with his grief and get better." Craig Tester was there for his stepson, Jack Begley, during this tough time. This shows how Oak Island works as a team. Jack, who loved treasure hunts as much as Craig did, became more than just Craig's friend during this tough time. Their love of adventure and Oak Island's secret made them close for life. Even though he was sad about Drake's death, he didn't seem ready to give up. Many people were affected by seeing Craig Tester's grief, and many felt his pain. To remember Drake Tester, the Oak Island crew did something amazing that moved the crew and the crowd. Before they dug the last tunnel of the season in what they thought was the island's money pit, they gave it the name Drake. Drake's stepbrother Jack Begley came up with the passionate idea of making the famous treasure hunt that the Lagena brothers and their dedicated team did their own. Jack, who was upset by what was happening, said, "We asked to name the hole after Drake, so we chose to just use his initials, DMT, and it meant a lot to me. This name recognized Drake and showed that he was there." Jack thought that Drake's letters in this hole might help solve the island's long-standing riddle. It made him think, maybe this is the hole that finds it all. But it's good to know that my brother's a part of this island forever now. Naming the shaft was emotional and poignant. Fans of The Curse of Oak Island have wondered if Drake Tester's sad death will end the strange curse on the island. Folklore on Oak Island says that people must die to get the 200-year-old wealth. According to the story, these sacrifices must be made when looking for wealth. It is thought that 7 lives had to be given up to finish the terrible curse. Many people thought that a 2015 death in the money pit wasn't a loss because it wasn't during a treatment. Drake Tester's death is very sad, but fans wonder if it's another sacrifice because of a curse. The fact that Drake's death happened at the same time as Oak Island's wealth hunt added to the mystery. The curse on Oak Island has always made the wealth hunt more exciting and mysterious. Some say it's just a story, but others are drawn to the allure of the island and believe in the curse. Now, a lot of people are asking if Drake Tester's sad death fits the claimed curse. The Curse of Oak Island is better because of the complicated requirements of the curse, such as making sacrifices throughout the quest. The cast of The Curse of Oak Island came together to support Craig Tester after the death of his son. The Lagena brothers and the rest of the close-knit gang all liked money and were friends with people outside of the island. When we worked together for years at Oak Island, we became like family. Craig needed this large group of people to help him deal with the loss of a loved one. It shows how working toward a goal may build strong bonds. People cared about more than the Lagena brothers' relationships. They also liked the show's endless pursuit for wealth and Oak Island mystery. The Lagena brothers investigated local stories and customs, coming up with wild explanations to explain their bizarre findings. Local tales were engaging, but the team concentrated on collecting facts to back their findings, distinguishing between interesting and. The Lagena brothers and their team were so passionate that fans couldn't wait for each concert. With their camaraderie and constant hunt for Oak Island secrets, their narrative captivated viewers. The Curse of Oak Island solved historical mysteries and demonstrated how strong individuals can be in difficult times. Fans liked how the gang united to find fortune and support each other. This highlighted how popular the program was as an exciting blend of adventure, companionship, and the endless search for the unknown. If this is your first visit, subscribe and view our other videos. The island's curse looms larger than ever. The hunt continues, but at what cost? Oak Island has been a mystery for centuries, with legends suggesting Vikings sailed there before Columbus. The Knights Templar lost treasure, and pirates buried a gold hoard. However, new evidence suggests the Romans may have been there too. The search for these artifacts was not easy, and it almost cost a man his life. Borehole 10X, a deep, dangerous, water-filled shaft, has been the focus of treasure hunters for decades. The borehole is 235 feet deep, with a narrow tunnel at the bottom. The tunnel is submerged in murky water, with zero visibility and a risk of getting stuck or worse. The Lagena brothers brought in professional divers Harvey Morash and Michael Gerhardt to explore the borehole. However, the plan to explore the borehole failed when Michael's communication system stopped working. They were 100 feet underwater, in complete darkness, with no signal or voice. The team on the surface had no idea if Michael was safe, and for the next 32 minutes, no one knew what was happening. Decompression stops were needed to prevent serious health risks, so they waited. Harvey dives into a tunnel at Borehole 10X but finds no visibility and a drill bar. The team tries to find debris, old wooden structures, broken rocks, and random objects, but the legendary treasure chamber remains a mystery. They eventually find an unusual Roman artifact in Mahone Bay, off the coast of Oak Island. A rusted metal piece, a pulley, was found in the dirt, indicating it was part of a centuries-old treasure retrieval system. Charles Barkhouse brings an artifact that could change everything they thought they knew about Oak Island. A Roman sword had been discovered in Mahone Bay in the 19th century by a local family who had been illegally scalloping in the area. The sword was a bronze or brass weapon with an ornate design and a carving of Hercules, a symbol commonly associated with ancient Roman military decorations. Finding a Roman artifact in North America is unheard of, as the Romans never set foot anywhere near Oak Island. The team is determined to explore the area and uncover the secrets of the island. The discovery of a Roman sword on Oak Island, Canada, has sparked a tense debate among experts. Some believe it is proof of Roman presence, while others argue that it could have been brought by European collectors or through trade routes. To test the authenticity, experts at St. Mary's University in Halifax conducted a chemical analysis, revealing traces of copper, tin, lead, and arsenic consistent with ancient Roman bronze. However, the cast method did not fit Roman techniques, suggesting a later time period. Another theory suggested the sword might have been created in the 18th or 19th century, inspired by Roman designs, or even deliberately placed there by someone to add to the mystery of the island. A second opinion came from chemistry professor Christa Brosso, who found a high amount of zinc, which was not typically used in ancient Roman bronze. This led to the conclusion that the sword was modern brass, not ancient bronze. Comparisons to similar swords found in Europe also intensified the debate. Museums in Italy and Spain had almost identical swords, which had already been classified as replicas made in the 1800s. Some historians argued that the design had been copied from an actual ancient artifact, and the Oak Island sword was the original. The discovery has sparked one of the biggest controversies in Oak Island's history, with some experts insisted it was a modern fake, and others believed it still had the potential to be a genuine ancient artifact. Oak Island has been a subject of fascination for over 2 centuries, with treasure hunters and history buffs constantly discovering strange objects. One of the most significant discoveries is the discovery of Roman artifacts, which some claim to be Roman artifacts. The official story is that the Romans never set foot anywhere near North America, but multiple discoveries suggest otherwise. For example, Roman-style crossbow bolts were found on the island, matching the design of bolts used by the Roman military. Some argue they arrived via trade routes much later in history, possibly during the age of European exploration. Another theory suggests they could have visited this part of the world long before Columbus or the Vikings. The famous lead cross discovered at Smith's Cove is still debated, with some researchers suggesting it is linked to the Knights Templar, a mysterious order that supposedly traveled across the Atlantic to hide their treasures. Another interesting find is the inscribed stone known as the 90-foot stone, which mysteriously disappeared in the early 19th centuries. Surprisingly, the strange stone roads and platforms uncovered beneath Smith's Cove are not natural formations, but deliberately built by someone, possibly connected to ancient European engineering. A Roman coin was allegedly found near Oak Island, but no one knew exactly where it came from. The mysterious shipwreck detected near Mahone Bay is also a mystery, with sonar scans suggesting it is older than Columbus. However, The sheer number of unexplained artifacts and structures suggests someone was here long before the official timeline allows.